I'm Tish.
I'm Lily.
And together we are
Haunted Housewives.
And we are coming to you today to tell you 2 reasons why you should visit
KRAGEL'S Pass
in Richmond, Ohio. See, we got
Look
that out.
We took a big gasp, like we needed all this air to say 2 words. I have no idea why we did that. We're like, KRAGEL'S Pass!
Because it's one of a handful of haunted attractions that's not, horror haunt.
That's true.
It's different.
That's true.
It's different. We have to think about it.
Yes.
So that, it may not have taken more air, but it took more thought.
More brain power. So we needed oxygen to go to our brain.
Wow. We need help.
We're really reaching.
We need all the help we can get. But at least neither one of us belched when we said KRAGEL'S.
That's true.
So
that's true. It will happen, so be prepared.
It could happen. So KRAGEL'S Pass is a haunted trail. Haunted trail-ish, I would say.
Yeah.
In Richmond, Ohio, just over the Pennsylvania-Ohio border, near a bunch of other stuff. But the reason I say haunted trail-ish is because there's a lot of little buildings, little environments.
And a lot of times you're walking on bridges and like made walkways. You're not, most of the time, I would say most of the time, you're not walking on dirt.
Yeah. I mean, it's built on a fairly steep hillside. They've gone to some pains to kind of grade the hillside and make it walkable.
There's a railing, so don't fall over.
Don't go tumbling into KRAGEL'S Pass. Yes. But it is, it's kind of a hybrid of like haunted house, haunted trail.
Yeah.
But I'm going to kick things off today.
What is one of your reasons so we should visit KRAGEL'S Pass?
My first reason why you should visit KRAGEL'S Pass is I love a good story.
No.
I do. I love a good story. And they have come up with this great, flexible backstory.
Yes.
For this haunted attraction that plays out through your entire journey.
Yeah. And through the season, really.
Yeah. So, a couple of things you should know. First, KRAGEL'S Pass is just in its 2nd year as a haunted attraction. And we'll get back to that later. But they have created a really full-blooded narrative for this haunted attraction. The idea is that a group of outcasts from Salem, Massachusetts made their way out to the western wilderness of Ohio and founded Salem Township, which is where KRAGEL'S Pass is located. And this backstory gives them the ability to start talking about, obviously, witches. But the founding family, there's also a judge. When you have witches, you also have the law chasing down the witches. And there is a judge who he's a hanging judge. He's not very fond of some of these strange people in his settlement.
There's different people. There's old neighborhood people that they talk about, and like the visitors, which is you, who come and try to look at the land and see what's going on. Sometimes you get caught in the middle of the story.
There's a whole story about missing children. And we encountered some of those children on our visit.
We did. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, there's witches, there's the hanging judge, there's children who've disappeared. The 2024 haunt season focused on a freak show that came into the settlement and had... There was a pig man who was supposed to be incredibly savage. There were all of these different clowns and misfits who were having a bad effect on the townspeople, and some of the townspeople were disappearing. Some of the townspeople were becoming fascinated with the freak show. But it's a great narrative that has a lot of flexibility, and it plays out in the various environments along the haunted trail. So you'll see this story, and it's really fun to recognize.
Yes.
I think there was a point where both of us were like, Pigman! It's the Pigman!
Yes, because they post their stories on Facebook. So you can see what's going on from week to week. And even like before the hunt opens, they post a bunch of stories telling you what's going on in KRAGEL'S Pass.
And I'm just going to say, they're really well written. They're really well written. So look at, I think it's the Salem Gazette or something like that.
I think so.
Take a look at their Facebook page and read some of these stories. They're creepy and well crafted, and you know, and it gives you more of a background when you go to the haunted attraction. So, yay story.
Yes,
that's my first reason. All right.
Okay, so my first reason is that going along with the story vibe, it's very interactive. The actors will interact with you because there's a story that you need to follow, that they are following, that, you know, you're a part of now.
Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of the little ghosts that would like to play with you, that was our first. So when we walked in, the way that they did the roles was very, very different from a lot of places. There was like a skeleton, and like you were in this room, and they were speaking over a speaker about the roles, and it was really funny and weird, and like
they made the rules part of the story.
Yes,
don't do these things or this bad thing will happen. It was just very clever.
Yes, I agree. That was very clever. And then as we're standing there listening to the rolls, and as they're winding down, this little ghost girl comes over and's like, "Tag, you're it." And I was like, "Oh, she touched me. Like, is this good?"
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just part of the hunt. It's part of the story. Like, you're not going to be tortured, or it's not extreme in any way.
It is a light touch haunt.
You are going to be, you might be sprayed with some blood. That was gross. I ran away from that. But also it was right after I got tagged, so I was it. So I just, we ran through that. They're just highly, highly interactive. That scene on the gurney with I didn't even know, it looked like worms. Like, I had no idea what she was doing to you. I knew a hand went flying over my head. I didn't know what was happening. But, like, I was...
So you should also know that in KRAGEL'S Pass, the Doctor and the Undertaker are the same person.
What?
Conflict of interest much? But, yeah, they will toss objects at you. We were part of a game.
We played a game. Yeah, we played a game. We had to, you know, I think it was a clown.
He was a clown.
Okay.
He was a clown.
Okay. I was like, I don't know if I'm remembering that right.
No, you're absolutely correct.
And we had skulls that we had to throw into holes. And I got one in, but it didn't go all the way through. So apparently that didn't count. What the hell? I'm still salty about because it went in the hole. Like, it didn't go all the way through, but still.
Lily played softball. She takes this personally.
I was a pitcher. The holes were really small. But anyway, we still got to get a prize, which was putting your hand in a gross box. It was really gross. But gooey. But I still went home with a little trinket, and I love that. I love going home with a trinket. That is underrated. And what else did we interact with? There was a pig man with fucking... Sorry. Fire. He had fire on his shovel. that he was like literally like pushing at us. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
And then there was a judge, and we got sentenced to hang, and we had to go upstairs to get to the,
Yeah, and there was a great ending where things are just running at you and grabbing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It was.
Oh yeah, we went in that room, and there was the guy sitting there.
And they do their maze differently. It's not necessarily... Because of the space, because they're built on this hillside, you don't have this huge space where you're walking around.
Yeah.
What happens is you have creatures who are misdirecting you.
Yes.
Their maze is these creatures telling you to go the wrong way and popping up and yelling at you. And this one...
Like, why did you go this way?
Because
he told me to.
This one clown was like, you shouldn't listen to strangers. Who else are we going to listen to here? Our choices, sir, are limited.
Yes.
Yes. But it's just, it is a very interactive haunt.
Very much so.
And be prepared. It is light touch. It's not brutal. It's not aggressive. You're not going to get hurt. They know what they're doing. They're careful about it, but it is a touch haunt. So if you're grossed out by the thought of like sticking your hand in a box full of goo to pull out a prize, or if you don't want, a creepy little ghost girl punching you in the arm and going, tag, you're it. Maybe not, but for all the rest of us, yes.
We love the added,
and along with that, I would say one of the things that really struck me about this place is like how detailed it is, how well thought out it is, the props and the animatronics.
Yes, I was really surprised about that.
I was shocked.
Yes.
Shocked at the level of detail. And I think one of the first places that really struck me was on this trail,
we were both like, when we went into this place.
Stop making fun of my...
we both did the same thing. We were like, going here.
We went down a flight of stairs, and we ended up in this room that was like a room in a cabin. And there was a creature there, but there were candles, and there were pictures on the walls, and there were like pieces of furniture. I was absolutely not expecting that level of detail on what was a platform hanging over an abyss.
Right.
In the middle of this trail. Very detailed. Even sort of the area with the maze and the freak show. Super detailed. And when we were sentenced to hang, because clearly we're witches.
Who would have thought?
Go figure. When we were sentenced to hang, like the judge pointed up the hill, and there's a gallows with bodies hanging from the gallows. We had to
walk up to the gallows.
So very atmospheric, very detailed, great looking place, especially for something in its second year.
Right.
Like,
right. Agreed.
Beautiful.
To go along with beautiful, they're also one of the haunts that are very welcoming. Not all haunts are like this. A lot of haunts are just come to our haunt, do our thing. This is what we have. You come, you do your thing, you leave. They're very welcoming. There's a bonfire. There was a tent, or not a tent, but like I don't know what you call it.
Yeah,
I would call it a tent, kind of. There was like an just in case it rains. And that's like where the line started. And there was somebody taking pictures, and there were a lot of photo ops, and everyone was super friendly and super, into it, and it was really decorated up. And then when you come out, where you get the tickets is the same place where you come out. And there's games that you can play. Did they have food too?
Yeah, they had food there as well. There was a concession stand, but for $1 you can play these games of chance.
Yeah, like we didn't have cash on us at the time, but like if we had, It's one, they have the things where you put your dollar on or your quarter, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think they had dollar on the numbers, and you see what number comes up. They were just so welcoming. It was such a great atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that when you're in that sort of covered entryway, they have some of the story playing, so you can hear the story.
Yeah.
They have copies of the Salem Gazette posted on the wall.
Yeah,
and the fact that the photo opportunity is just kind of part of the entry is it's super fun.
Yeah.
And they're happy to have you there. And
yes.
One thing we absolutely should mention, I think this place had the lowest ticket price.
Yes. Yeah.
They
did.
Any place we visited.
They did. And this was 2024. So maybe they'll raise it in 2025. But definitely it was worth more than what their ticket price showed.
They definitely wanted to bring more people in, and they there were a bunch of kids with their friends, and they want kids from the local community to be able to come in and see the haunt without paying, an arm and a leg for it.
That's true.
But I think that's part of that welcome. They want to make this accessible to as many people as possible.
Yes, I agree.
So KRAGEL'S Pass is original, well thought out, super interactive, especially for a new haunt, a surprising level of detail.
Yeah, we were surprised, and it was
and
so pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Very interactive, very fun, very welcoming. So, in 2025,
do it.
You should check them out. You should check them out.
Do it.
Definitely should. But until then, we will be back with more reasons to visit more haunted attractions.
Bye.